doing? How are you? On this night, of course, we're hosting with tonight Dottie the Psychic.
Dottie the Psychic needs to turn up her volume so she can hear what's going on.
Yes.
Hello. How's the
Yeah.
echo? Is it too bad?
No, you're fine.
Good. I'm working on the... Look at this flimsy thing I've got. I think I'm going to put all my costuming on this thing.
Good luck with that. You'll float away.
I mean, my costume may need to put in a pile of the aluminum.
In sandbags.
I could have thought that out a little better.
That's okay. You're working through it. Do you want to tell our friends where you're sitting at?
I am currently sitting in Office 313 of the Charleston Area Alliance building, and it is my office.
Mm-hmm. A comfortable office.
It is. It is a very comfortable office, and I own everything in this office except for one chair over there in the corner. It's my buddy chair.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good chair. It's a good chair.
Yeah. But this is where you're going to be broadcasting from, and when are you going to start accepting clients?
Honestly, I will probably be accepting clients beginning next week.
Well, that's quick. We've got a lot of new things going down. I got a project that I can't talk about, but it is launching on next Monday. And of course, where you're watching it, you'll be seeing the launch party. Just go ahead and join that.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I think it'll be a game changer. I think that a lot of things that are going on will be game changers for us.
Yeah, what would be a big game changer is figure out the lighting, which I did not do obviously before the live stream. This one is not. I got to tell you, like, it seems like I think because there's a lot of more lighting in here.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little harsher. Let's see if I can change the mood. Pop. Oh, that's a little better.
Yeah.
A little more cohesive.
Right. A little bit more comfortable for you.
I'm working on the lighting, folks. It's a work in progress. Dottie the Psychic is a constant work in progress, and there has been a lot of progress lately.
Yeah, you've been going through a growth spurt.
Oh God, yes. Like this office is a massive project.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally moving out of my room. The background and all except for one or two, maybe. I think I may have done one like somewhere out in the wild, but I think 98% of my live streams up to this point have been done in my bedroom, which was, y'all, I left Jackson County. Like, my Genesis story is a thriller, and one of these days I'm going to actually, like, outline it and publish that shit, because I've been working on this project for 5 years. Right. But this project is not just this. Like, this is definitely part of the amalgamation of it.
Right.
But like, I basically just restarted my life. And for only being out in the wild for 5 years, I think I'm doing good.
I think you're doing very well. I think in being in business now, we're running about 2 years. It's just time for you to make that growth spurt into your own office space. You can go and play.
Haircut too. Look, y'all, I'm feeling a little rough. I probably should have taken care of a whole bunch of stuff before coming on live, but you know.
You look fine.
We don't sweat the small stuff here at Dottie the Psychic, or we would be dehydrated. Like, that's my new catch line.
Well, that's why we're WAP. WAP. We are professionals.
That's not what I thought when you said that. But okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while, okay?
Yeah, it's been a while, honey. And that's understandable. You've been busy. Plus, you're doing some other things. That's very common for psychics.
Actually, I have a big announcement. Other than, I don't know if I've told you this. I think I have mentioned it in passing to you because we have a friendly professional relationship. So we talk. Right. I would venture to say that we are actually friends.
Right.
Because I've slept on your couch, and really that is a defining moment. That's when you go from just being professional friends to actual friends. When somebody's When somebody calls you after a psychiatric emergency, that's when you go from being professional friends to mental health buddies, and that's a big jump.
Well, that's when we rely on each other, and that's some of the benefits to being the professional friends we are, is we can team up and do things differently, and it's not the dolphin and shark world. You get to have fun.
Okay, so the dolphin and shark show, you're gonna have to like explain that to the audience.
Okay. So there is a corporate theory that everyone is either a shark or a dolphin or a whale. Different spirit. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I am having it tonight. Different spiritual animals, and that they behave in that energy when they're in business. I always say that I'm a shark in whale clothing, meaning that I'm very nice, I'm very sweet, I love people, but I'll eat you alive. I'm not really the shark that gets all jealous and bent out of shape about what's going on. Oh, you got more followers than I do, and you got more callers than I have. No, I don't do that game. But no, you're very much what I call a dolphin learning to take things over. Did I lose you? Hi, Brenda. And we lost Dottie. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and hopefully she'll be back.
Hi, I'm Dottie the Psychic, and I'm sure you're wondering why I'm not wearing any makeup. Well, one reason is to irritate my social media manager, Aeson St. Hi, Aeson. The other reason is because I like to get to the naked truth about what it means to be a neurodivergent LGBT person with psychic abilities. I've got vlogs, blogs, and podcasts and videos all related to try to live my best life and helping witches and bitches do the same thing. So, you can check all that out and get a reading from Dottie the Psychic at DOTTIE.com. Safe travel and much profit to you.
Do you have a cute pet? We know you do. Each week, Tracy Van chooses from submitted photos a featured reader for her Facebook page and provides a tarot reading. Your adorable pet cat, dog, rabbit, goat, chicken, snake, or more could be her next featured reader. Visit TracyBann.com, TracyBann.com, and click Featured Reader to submit. We look forward to seeing your pet next.
Hey everybody, Lady Gwendolyn here, and I am here to tell you how to get in contact with me and a little bit about what I do. I am the High Priestess that works with shadow work to help you grow and heal. And I work with access bars, Reiki, I do power forms. I'm recently getting into crystal healing, sound therapy as well. So you can go to Lady Gwendolyn Healing, that is LadyGwendolynHealing.com. Book your appointment with me. I do in person, I do over the phone, I do over Zoom. We can do that as well. My main goal is to help you grow and heal, because I've been there, I'm still going through it, and let my strength help guide you. See you soon.
Hey everybody, Natalie here from The Pendulum's Path. If you are in need of guidance, direction, spiritual connection, healing, or more, you have come to the right place. I have worked as a psychic and a medium for over 3 years, connecting people from all over the world with their loved ones, giving them insight and guidance into their current situations, their past healings, their blockages, and what they need to know in order for them to have a better future. It would be my absolute honor if you would come to my website at www.thependulumspath.com. Visit my shop. I have a whole bunch of crystals, oils, balms, mystery boxes, and more. And visit my services. I offer 15-minute, 30-minute, and 60-minute sessions. I also have email readings available if you're not comfortable with the one-on-one session with me, or if you just want to try me out. I encourage you to come visit me at the Pendulum's Path, and let's get you back on the right track today.
All right, welcome back. Dottie, will you tell that girl to stop tripping over your car as she's bringing you your tea? I'm telling you, you are out of here fast.
Disappeared, man.
I know, it happens every time you get a refill on your teacup.
Oh, I wish. I'm drinking Pepsi like a Pepsi drinker.
So
No,
much
no,
sugar in
look, it is never a dull moment. What I was going to tell you all about before I went on a rant was, I am now a level 3 Reiki master, although I don't know if I'm ready to provide that service just yet because I am still in my attunement phase, which might be what happened to the camera
Yeah,
and the light on the Dunbar Bridge.
Right. Yeah. So you're busy, mobilizing your office, getting your office location set up. Now, is this a dog-friendly office, or is Luther going to have to phone it in for you?
I think Luther's not going to be part of the show until we reach the eventual plan, the ultimate Dottie the Psychic form.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I want to be able to do this from my home.
Right.
Like, I want to be a homeowner with a home office, and when that happens, we can bring Luther back on. But for now, there will be no Luther and Peanut. They might still show up in videos on my main channel, but they will not be in the live stream.
Pet updates. And
I will definitely
be very upset about that.
I know. I'm upset about it too. I really am, but also I've got to.
Right.
It's also a little easier because I don't have to deal with. I don't have to deal with tripping my own stuff. Like, I'm going to try to keep my office at a professional level. Although right now you're looking straight at my drop ceiling.
Yep.
And my new costume rack.
Well, I can appreciate a drop ceiling. At least you have a drop ceiling.
I am going to put it.
You have to cover up.
That's true.
Yeah. Tell us about some cool things you got in the office planned already.
Well, so right now, I am planning on the 31st of December, that would be New Year's Eve, during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. We're going to try and have a office warming party.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Okay. So right now, that is something I am trying to schedule. It is going to be an RSVP deal. I haven't figured out the details yet, but I've already bought the plate.
Right, and that's because you bought them on sale. Hello, Patricia. And Shannon, yes, you are a Pepsi drinker. We know you enjoy a cup full of Pepsi. It's apparently keeping Dottie very busy in her construction mode. Because that takes a lot of work to set up an office. You guys would think it's just like, oh, I rent a space and call someone, they bring me some desks and chairs.
Yeah, like even them bringing the desks and chairs is a whole thing, which I have, let me show you guys around the office. I am actually in the process, this is one of the many videos I plan to do, because I've still got Pagan Pride to edit. I lost my footage for Ashland Pride. I was going to do that video, but I've lost the footage. Mm-hmm. I have Pagan Pride in my editor right now. I have Earth Magic Psychic Shopping in my editor right now. A couple other smaller things. Mm-hmm. And I'm working on an office and going back to school. I got to nail my midterms.
Right.
I'm very excited about that. Has no effect on my business.
Yes, it does. It has an effect because it boosts your confidence. It's teaching you different things. Like, today she's writing a paper on why we have religion.
Yeah, I
What
think it's
degree are you going after?
It's a Regency Bachelor's of Art. Regency Bachelor's of Art. There we go.
Right.
And it's basically, y'all, my transcript reads like an accident report. So it's basically, it is a degree. I don't know how to describe it. It's basically, it's not a degree in nothing. It's a degree in general studies.
Right, and that's because, you've got your nurse's stuff. I'm sure you've tried other things. You've read other things.
I've done a lot of random classes. It's reached the point where I've got too many credits to go for something that is just strictly professional.
Mm-hmm.
I also, I have no intent. There's no point in me going and getting a bunch of accounting classes. I'm going to go be an accountant. I am a professional psychic. I'm going to continue to be a professional psychic. And my course studies should reflect things that are related to that,
Right.
Videography,
mm-hmm.
business,
mm-hmm.
and the class I'm taking now, which is the nature of religion.
Right.
I'm very proud of.
Right, because it greatly influences our practices. That's going to be a very important class.
I think so.
And I think I wrote this article somewhere, but when we first started out, literally, all you were was a phone operator. You answered the phone, you done your reading, you hung it up. Now we're content creators, we're social media managers, we're, we have to also be the CEO, the CFO. We got to be the brand manager. We've got to do the signature stuff.
Yeah, I literally am we're literally our own brand. And there is something extremely liberating about, we're small business owners. And that is a complicated statement. There's a reason a lot of people get into this field. It's like restaurants. You see them pop up and shut down so fast they make your head spin. Where was that place? Just opened up and now it's gone. And there's a reason for that. It's work. It is hard. It's a labor of love.
Right.
I like being my own boss, setting my own hours because,
right.
That's just where it is.
Well, that's just,
I've tried other things. I'm uniquely equipped for this particular position.
Right. And, and it's I've got a 15-year Keen anniversary coming up. And is it 15 or 16 years? Maybe 16 years. 05 to, yeah. I'm grabbing a calculator. Wow.
That's a heck of a, that's a pretty decent run. They should send you a pin.
17 years that I've been with Keen. That'll be on the 21st, I believe. Is that... Actually, I think I want to watch. I miss the days of the nice gold watches.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, what is my thing doing now? I don't need... I know what it did. Okay, fine. Sorry.
Actually,
We're using technically.
The station turns 14 on the 21st. My Keen anniversary is the 13th. So that's this Sunday. And
congratulations!
17 years with that company. And we have a launch day on the 14th. You have to tune in on the 14th to see what that's about. Oh, I am so glad you got full price for the house and you're out of there on the 21st at the latest. Make sure to do a final walkthrough and say goodbye.
Oh, see, I missed the chats. There we go. Where are we at? Ah, hello guys. Now I can see you. Just in here talking to the void.
Well, my name's not Void, but I'll work with it.
I am definitely chaos.
Yeah, I know.
Born and bred.
From the beginning.
In the beginning.
Yes. In the beginning, there was chaos. In the end, there will be chaos. But no, we are small business owners. We are entertainers. We are, teachers. And, religious studies is so important for the psychic industry and for the psychic because most of our work is stuck in that religious tone.
Yeah, I mean, we are clergy.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do this job without some sense of duty to humanity, to your personal deity.
Yeah.
I don't know, a sense of responsibility for the people that you are providing a service for. I honestly, I have started billing myself to, like, when people I don't think would believe me, like they don't necessarily believe in the psychic thing, even those who do, even people who really genuinely do believe in the psychic thing. I keep calling it that because I've that's some shadow work I need to do later. I ain't got time for that right now.
Yes.
But I bill myself as a professional adult.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just need to talk to another adult. And that's a service that I provide. A lot of times we'll have people call us who legit just need to hear a human voice that has some compassion.
Right. All right, I'm gonna look and see how Patricia's house sales goes forward. It looks to be very balanced to me. It'll actually ignite some passion for you. So be taking notes and paying attention to it. And the rest of the cards are all money. So that tells me that you made bank or you're going to have additional money from this house sale. It also shows with this that it'll be a very smooth transition.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way.
Yes. So glad.
So you just got full price. Dang, girl.
Yeah, well, heck, I was reading the other day, some lady put her house up for sale, and she got triple the asking just because of the way the housing market is.
Ugh. Oh, I know. I'm waiting for the bus, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the other thing is, you're still waiting for the 1099 to see if it looks like what you think it's going to look like.
Yeah, I gotta get this under thumb first.
All right, so this is a posting over that I wanted to talk with us about, and we can debate this. Is the moon causing an increase in abilities for others? I think the blood moon has my abilities turned to 11. I can hear thoughts. I can feel energies very easily. So I learned how to tune into it when I don't want to. But the past few days, it's like I can't turn it off.
It's funny because I've actually heard people saying a lot of the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently going through a Reiki attunement, the third one, the spiritual Reiki attunement, the big one. And I got to tell you, every single one of these has kicked my butt. And
but you've been
so I don't know if it's the new. Huh?
You're still able to eat meat, so I'm impressed.
Yeah, and drink pop, which.
Yeah.
I need to drink more water. I definitely need to drink more water, and I feel like it's kind of delaying it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
More like dragging it out. I need to do an actual cleanse and just be done, and let the whole thing settle in.
Yes. All right. So Patricia asks, "What's it mean when you can hear a voice and it makes you wake up out of your sound sleep?" A lot of times, that's a spirit trying to either communicate with you or get your attention. Your spirit guide just going, I'm tired of trying to send you signs and symbols. You've been asking for them and I've been sending them like prisoner care packages and you've been ignoring it. So I'm just going to shake you up. Or it could just be a spirit visiting going, hey, what you doing? Where's my cup of coffee? How you doing?
A lot of times, come on down here with me. Let's get on the floor here since I'm putting together my costuming rack. That's what this thing is that I'm working with. I know that a lot of times I've had that situation. My mother used to have that situation a lot when people who were looking for help crossing
Mm-hmm.
would come to the house. They would sometimes they were not as polite as they should be, because when you're asleep, number one, you're still. It's easier to get your attention.
Right.
For one, because you're not doing anything. You're still. But also because you are in the astral field, whether you remember it or not,
Mm-hmm.
you are more likely you're more attuned to the other side.
Right.
So it makes it easier to communicate with you.
Right.
And that is a jarring process.
Right.
Especially if you don't know.
Well,
And with everything on haywire, your abilities may be increasing, and somebody may have taken notice and looking for help.
Mm-hmm. But no, see, this is my viewpoint. Did the blood moon do anything for or against? Like, yeah, it showed our flaws like it showed everyone else's. Especially with this eclipse energy going on with it, it's kind of like, here it is. Here it is. You're gonna have to fix this karma problem.
Yeah, it definitely seems like there has been a lot of showing of true faces.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the private situation, but other people have come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like other clients have come to me. I found out this, and this guy's cheating on me. Like, it just came to light. I'm like, yeah, these people have been pulling this crap forever, but like, there's no hiding it under this moon.
Yeah, under this moon, that's an eclipse, it ain't gonna hide it. And this is gonna be affecting you for 6 months. Because eclipse energy lasts for a whole half a cycle. So 6 months from now, that's when the energy will slow its way down. But for me, I also find when like Saturn is in retrograde, or Mercury is in retrograde, that it's a little extra. Like, it is a little extra of a full moon. It's a full shot of brandy full moon.
This has definitely been a rougher one, especially with it kind of being the time of year that it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because fall is always like, we're entering the death season. This winter, fall is the season of death. Things are literally dying. They're going back to ground to rest,
Mm-hmm.
to come back and be reborn in the spring.
Right.
So that is always a massive natural energy well. And I do think that people tend to forget, for some damn reason, they tend to forget that the sun is also a big part of that. Like, people get obsessed with where the moon and the moon and the other planets are, but like the sun, the big one,
right.
And it's in Scorpio, like full blown. Right. So all that is deep is being revealed.
Well, none of that, but all that is hidden will always come to light. Like, you can't get away with karma is going, oh no, we'll just let you take that one to the next life, won't we, Roberta? It's going to drag it right on out for everyone to see under this one.
Right. And I do think there has to be a certain amount of that for us to move forward.
Right.
And especially, I understand that my particular, this is one of those things, I find out that the planets are halfway through doing some fancy dance when I'm already halfway through doing some deep spiritual work. Like I said, I'm on the third attunement. Like, I think that happened a week and a half ago. So I'm literally in the middle of it.
Right. You're right in the middle of the cycle there. And by the way, tell me you don't watch my content without telling me you don't watch my content.
Did I do that?
Good. Yeah, I post the astrology stuff up all the time, honey.
I know. I check my horoscope and I move on. I am the world's worst when it comes to astrology. I am not an astrologer. See, I read palms. I feel energy. I don't have time to sit down and really plot out. And if I put anything out that would as a psychic, as a professional psychic, if I put something out astrologically, that would assume that I had put some research into it that I haven't had time to do.
Right.
I could just read an article that Aeson sends me every month, but I didn't have time to do that either.
Stay in bed. Like, I ain't getting out of bed the 28th. I ain't getting out of bed the 27th. Oh, Saturn being a bitch in Scorpio, I'm going to go over here and stay out of the way. I ain't answering my phone.
If I did that, I wouldn't get out of bed the entire month of November.
Yeah, you would. It's not a bad month.
I now have a clothing rack for my costuming. I got to give you guys a tour of the office. So that's my new clothing rack. That is my ironing board in the back from where I will do costumes over here. There is all my sewing stuff, my patterns, my sewing box on my cloth. Down there is my green screen. There we go. There is my studio lights. They're tucked away till I figure out exactly how I want to set them up. I meant to set them up for this live stream because now they're in a place that I can actually just throw them up. But it didn't happen.
Well, you can do that for the next one. By the next one, you should be set up.
There's my table. Sorry, I'm just wonky. Yeah, there's my table. There it is. There we go. Main table. Back there is where I'm supposed to be live streaming from, but my computer did a thing. This is my computer desk, my worky desk. Back there is my sewing worky desk, where I'm going to be doing all my artsy craftsy stuff. And then I've got that one and that one, which I'm thinking I'm going to decorate. I'm going to put stuff on them. I think I'm going to make them little mini altars to my particular deities.
Right.
And then over here is going to be, this is the prosperity altar. So I want you to look at this table.
Signal, honey. So very nice.
Huh?
You got fuzzy on there for a minute.
Sorry.
Computer and then over here, the altar, it doesn't like that.
Well, you should never have electronics near your altar. When I get the whole thing set up, I'm not putting anything electronic on the big desk, the reading desk. All my electronics will be on the computer desk or on the arts and crafts desk. I'm also setting up, I'm going to have a little, I think, Aeson, I think you might appreciate this. I'm going to try and get some swag. You see the sign? That's
Dottie's Place. Money just everything.
Right. But this is going to be let's see if I can do this without, okay, Lord, help me. See these cubes? There's one here, and then there's one over here, and I'm going to do I'm going to do a little gift shop, proof that you saw Dottie the Psychic, maybe put some stickers and some swag. I've also got some used books, a give a book, take a book thing.
If you need the
they were free to me. Right. I don't know. The merchandise is down the road, folks. This is why I shouldn't talk about shit online before I've actually got a plan. But
you're getting it. I know that you're having merch. That's been an obviously thing. But no, it's a gorgeous office, honey.
Thank you. We love you guys too. Let me tell you what, the fans are why we do this.
Exactly. Our clients are why we're here, why we put so much effort into things, why we make things look great, but also why we do so much for our fans.
Right. Honestly, don't get me wrong, I could probably go sing and dance for pennies, but you all make this a viable living for us.
Right. And, and it's important to have a good, clear boundary with clients. So I'm very happy you have an office and you won't be doing readings from your bedroom anymore.
Oh, God. Well, here's the thing. Well, the problem became, folks, I am obviously going to be taking clients in my actual office. The problem became I was taking readings where I would have to travel pretty much all over Kanawha County and go visit people in their houses.
Right.
And, if you need a house cleansing, that's one thing. But I was going and doing readings in these strangers' houses.
So you were, You're Mary Kaying it up at their house.
Alone.
Alone.
I was going to people's houses alone, and I was going to the graveyard. I was going and meeting people at McDonald's. The graveyard was the fun one. I did a lot of readings in a couple of different local cemeteries. I tried not to just I try not to do just one because I'm always a little afraid that the locals will catch me.
Right.
And it made me feel dirty.
All right.
Dirty girl. Dirty girl.
Trisha, are you looking for a deck? Or are you, you read tarot yourself, just not publicly? And that's totally cool. That, you don't have to jump into it and read professionally. Like, I'll highly recommend, if there's another career out there that you want to do, go do it.
Honestly, you know what? That is something that really does need to be addressed as a community. Like, we are kind of the rock stars of the psychic community. We are we're the clergy. This is all we do. Yeah. And it is a profession. We pour a lot of time and energy into our branding. If you want to just do readings in your spare time for your buddies, there is absolutely no shame in that.
No.
If you want to go and set up at the, psychic fairs and read there, yeah, do it for a little extra scratch.
What you're going to end up doing. And what I mean by that is realize what you're going to end up putting together. And it'll take away and take off with you. And you're like, where the hell is it? What happened? For me to say I've been reading for Keen for 17 years, that means I've been reading professionally for almost 31 years.
31 years.
That's scary. When this was not going to be my job, my grandmother did this whole thing about, typing out email readings and sending them out.
Oh, God. Email readings.
Well, the modern version of email readings, she typed out on a typewriter.
Oh, God, I can't. That would be even worse. I cannot. That is too far removed for me. Mm-hmm. That is too far removed for me. I cannot pick up enough of a signal. I'll be the first to tell you when I'm not picking up a signal. That's one of the things, and I think that honestly is not part of my brand, but it is part of sometimes admitting what you can't do is what makes you a professional.
Right.
If you know that you're not able to provide a service, that's something to be honest about. I cannot do the email readings. I could not even imagine trying to do that shit on a typewriter because it's just too far removed from me.
Let me explain how much this is for me. If I am really going through an insomnia attack or I really cannot sleep, all I got to do is go find a typing video, and that sound of the clacking, because of course her nails are really long and long, very long nails. That will put me to sleep. That ding takes me right on out.
I keep thinking I want to do a palmistry AMSR video. I did palmistry for basic bitches, but literally since the inception of my main channel, this is on my secondary channel now. My main channel is my my high art. That's the thing that I want to be known for. That is my, I don't know, my theatrics, my formal video essays. And ever since I started that channel, literally back in Jackson County. No, not quite that far back. But since I was actually able to start editing, the moment I could edit, there were 5 or 6 really cool ideas I had that have been burning slowly in the background. I wanted to do a cardiomancy video where it's all Wild West style, and I not tarot. I'm going to do a whole video on tarot, but all the rest of the cards. I may sneak in a bit about the tarot, but I want to do Italian Renaissance garb for the tarot video, and I'm just not there yet, sewing wise. The Tessiomancy video was one of them.
Yeah.
That was one of the slow burners. I got that out a couple of years ago now. That was interesting. I need to do something about my hair. Oh. Let's not talk about it. We're not talking about it. Anyway, and so the palmistry video is one of them. I've always wanted to do an AMSR palmistry video, and I actually have a lapel mic coming.
Right.
So that I can actually start working on that. It's not, I have this bad habit of talking about ideas live on air before I've actually fully formed them. And I am working on that. But that has literally been on the back burners since the inception of the channel.
Right.
And there's a few other ones like that. Like a shadow work video.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that I've had the idea for.
It has been boiling so much, honey. I think it's a roast. I really think that it's a roast because it's been boiling right beside your palmistry class, and it's just a nice slow boil.
Oh yeah, everything's on the slow cooker because at this point I'm like I've had this idea. I have gathered bits and pieces, and they have been on the burner for so long that I refuse to put them out until I'm happy with them.
Right.
And if it takes me 2 or 3 years, it's already taken me 2 or 3 years. So, and that's the same with the death video. There is one more video in the death series that I am actively working on the costuming for.
Right.
But I have to be in a certain headspace to even do the research for it because it revolves around grief.
Right. Well, and that's someplace you're still you've set camp up at.
I mean,
and you're still going through, and you'll continue to go through, and it'll take you time.
I mean, this whole office is kind of part of a grief project. My mother told me she wanted me to do this, and so that's. What was the subject of this video again?
Psychic life.
Y'all, welcome to the Hot Mess Express. I will be your conductor tonight.
Well, honey, we're all conductors on the Hot Mess Express sometimes. Some of us have a little bit more refined, and we're more of the silver steam engine. Some of us are the chug-a-chug. One of these days we'll get their steam engines. But at the same time, the industry is changing. It is scary that, people like Jeffree Star is leaving YouTube.
Jeffree Star is actually leaving YouTube?
Yep. According to the Shane Dawson video that he released, he has 2 more videos to release, and then he's leaving YouTube and going to TikTok.
I honestly stopped watching him after the whole thing.
Right. Well, I keep watching Jeffree because I like Jeffree's makeup. I really do like his skincare products. I just haven't convinced myself that to spend $65 on a package of Yak yet. But I like his style. I like his branding. I like and he's one of the old ones. He came in on MySpace. I came on during Yahoo and moved to MySpace. And, so it's like interesting to watch what the bigger creators are doing. A lot of them are moving to TikTok. We have Facebook that's just laid off workers for the first time. We have this metaverse thing that he's trying to develop that I don't think will go that far. I may eat my words in years.
I really hope that doesn't crash because I enjoy Facebook.
Right.
And honestly, Facebook is part of how I got out of my situation. Because I was able to connect with friends and family. And that's one of those things, like if you're in an abusive situation, which I don't know, I don't want to say that on air.
Right.
But I will say that there was a lot of, I was in the middle of geographically isolated. I was geographically isolated. I lived far away from people, and Facebook gave me an outlet, and I was able to connect with friends and family. So when the time came that I was ready to go, I just Facebooked my uncle.
Right. All right, so let's take our break, and when we come back, we'll talk about a little bit of what we got burning into 2023, because, business owners will be sitting on talking and figuring out what they're going to do for 2023.
Oh, God.
Yeah. We'll be back, guys.
I'm going to get stable, y'all. That's my dream, stability.
Welcome back, Goblins! My name is Jason, and I am the host of the Esoteric Book Club, a podcast that examines titles on the magical, paranormal, the mysterious, and the strange. I release 2 episodes a month in which I review books on esoteric topics, recap news of the weird, and conduct interviews with authors, practitioners, and experiencers. The Esoteric Book Club can be found on every major podcast service or can be streamed directly from esotericbookclub.org.
Hi, I'm Tracy Van. I provide a blended reading consisting of mediumship, psychic, and tarot cards. A reading from me can cover any guidance you need from relationships with your partner or your family, spiritual, financial, any questions you may need clarity on. If you would like to book an appointment with me, check out my website, tracyvann.com. That's TracyVann.com. I have bookings from 15 to 60 minutes you may choose from. That helps if you just have a quick question, need an answer, or if you're looking for a reading in more depth, I'm here to provide the guidance and clarity for you. Let's just figure it out. Bye.
Hi, Techie Joe here. I work with Aeson and some of the best psychics in West Virginia to create amazing live streams and podcasts for the Psychic Coffee Shop Network. Together, we brew up great content discussing news, events, hot topics, and more, all from a psychic perspective. On the Psychic Coffee Shop, we interview amazing authors in the metaphysical realm. Coffee and Tea combines Aeson with Tracy, Dottie, Natalie, or Lady Gwendolyn for the good and the bad of being a psychic. Shameless Self-Promotion with Dottie the Psychic talks to leading and emerging YouTubers and business owners in our community. Mountain Bears brings you the latest in LGBT news and politics. The Psychic That Plans answers the question of, well, how a psychic plans. Plus, we're live on air. We take your comments and your questions, including psychic advice questions. Check out our amazing programming, book an appointment with top psychics, and find out all the wonderful things we have to offer at pcsbnetwork.com today.
Hi, I'm Aeson and I provide tarot readings covering everything from love and relationships to your life questions and your most spiritual answers. And also, I provide a lot of guidance in finances and divorces and all those relationship problems. So, if you'd like to get a reading from me privately, not on air, you can feel free to do so by visiting aeonnight.com and booking your appointment. I also provide on-demand services, so if your life is a little chaotic, you can go ahead and click that call now button there on my site. Great for a quick answer question. All right, guys, back to the show. Enjoy. All right, welcome back. So, people will start going to talk about goal setting. Matter of fact, I'm teaching a class in my inner circle about goal setting. If you want to know about more in inner circle, there's a link in the bio. But my focus for 2023 is going to be more passive income based. What about you, Dottie?
My 2023 is probably going to be a bit of a slog. Like, I know I can only really take 1 or 2 classes at a time. Right now, I can only take 1 class at a time, and I want my Regency Bachelor's of Art.
Right.
So I'm going to be working on that, and I am going to be stabilizing the office.
Right.
I don't know if I was thinking about going back out on the road maybe in March, because I've got one more event. I've got 2 more events. I'm doing one with Beth in Bell, West Virginia next weekend. It's on my Facebook. And then I'm doing one in Moundsville the first weekend of December. And then I think that at least for the winter, I am going to be holed up here working on
building your
building the home base. Yeah. So I'm very much working on trying to find some stability, because I don't know if I'm sure that my audience has noticed we have been in a massive overhaul for about 6 months now, 4 months, January, August, somewhere in there. We started.
Right.
We had scheduled to launch things in August, and we were supposed to be stable by the end of August. And that's, the universe said, oh, you want to improve your game? Well, then let's do it, bitch. Don't half-ass that. And has taken me on an odyssey of this. Like, I would love to go back. I have got so many things that have been put on the back burner, and I would love to just sit there and plow through my Trello lists. All my ideas.
Because then maybe I can understand half of what you got up there. Like,
half of what I got up there are some half-baked schemes that really sound cool. That some of them I would be willing to give away at this point. I'm like, this would be really cool. I don't have the time or energy. Have a free idea. I know that I'm going to be trying to be a more active part in Sabbath Social. I'm trying to get involved there. That is a nationwide YouTube witch pagan community resource. So I'm trying to get, because I want not just glory for me, but glory for my state, for my my fellow local psychics. So like, I don't know if anybody notices a pattern, but especially with shameless self-promotion, I try to promote locally as well as like smaller YouTubers, so that I'm bringing real people here from West Virginia and people who are from all over the place, so that people can see, to mix that a little bit, to bring renown to our community.
Right.
So but that's like a 5-year dream.
Right.
That's not a 1-year dream. That's a 5-year dream. Next year, I'm just trying to get stable.
Right.
It would be a whole new experience. Being stable would be a brand new experience. I wouldn't know what to do.
Right. And letting that be what it is, letting that grow for what it is, I think will be amazing. I think that you'll be doing really well with that. I'm gonna work more on the passive, like I've wanted merch. And I love Trello. I've organized jobs after jobs on Trello. This is the old school version of it. And I introduced you to it, and you took it to like duck to water, and I'm like, wow, like she already had, I don't think you actually, before I could even look at it.
Oh yeah, like I got on that board, you're like, yeah, let me set you up a couple of boards, and I literally spent 3 days just thought dumping. And it almost became like, it's one of those things I realize it now, having started to use that, that it has been a major part of me advancing my business and everything, is because I can actually see the lists put out now.
Right.
I actually have several lists.
Right. Of things that need to happen.
So many things
where they need to be at and all that. But, and those are little tools.
Right.
My planner is a very big tool for me, but it drives Dottie crazy. I don't think she can.
I cannot use a paper planner. I don't know why. I lose them. It doesn't matter how fancy they are. Like, the more complicated the system, the less likely I am to use it. And like Trello has that complexity, but I have slowly built up to that complexity.
Right.
I have a learning disorder. I have ADHD. I will not grow out of that. It is always going to be a part of my life. And anything that helps me to facilitate that,
your trick,
is going to improve my life. Right. Like, honestly, electronics, my phone is a whole game changer.
Right.
Being able to see my schedule, having it go off when I need to be somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
is a total game changer.
Mm-hmm. And it's understanding what those things are. What is it that's your trick? What is it that you can click with? What you click without? For me, it's always been writing it down. And it doesn't matter what I write it down in, just as long as I write it down or hear it. Like I will literally tell Joe, remind me to pick up milk when I'm at Kroger's. And he'll repeat it right back to me. And when I get to Kroger's, he'll be like, oh, I need milk. Because I heard it.
You know, if that works for you, because every brain is different.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think, like, I'm not going to say here, this is one of those things that drives me a little crazy because people are like, everybody has a touch of ADD or ADHD. Mm-hmm. No, bitches, no. That's not how it works. You might have moments of forgetfulness, and there are definitely some things that work for ADHD that work for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But until it has actually interfered with your ability to function as a human being,
mm-hmm.
which is like all going in the eventually someday in the vague and distant future. This is another one of those 5-year, 10-year projects. And one of the projects I am going to try and have done over the next year is I've already got the art for my deck. This has been a slow burn project. I've got the art done.
Yeah, now I've got cards.
Yeah, I've got a couple of spreads. Like everybody's familiar with my hourglass spread because I developed that back in the day. That's a 7-8 years long spread I've used, and I love it because it's the only spread that I've ever seen that actually accounts for free will.
Right.
When looking towards the future.
Right.
But I am actively developing a new relationship reading that is shaped like a heart. It's adorable. It is. It's adorable. But it's going to be, if you want to learn how to do that, then you're going to have to come get a love reading because I need to finish developing it. So it's not, the layout, the spread is developed, but I haven't used it to feel it out and feel the positions. Like, what do these cards mean where they are? And that's a thing. That's one of those things when you're developing it because
yeah. And it can get complicated.
It can. Developing anything can be complicated. I'm great with ideas.
Mm-hmm.
That is part of my problem. Like if I had somebody who could I would need a team of 3 to 4 people to execute all of my ideas. And on a high flow day, that wouldn't cut it.
No, I don't even think that you could live with a team of 4. I think you really need a team of 8.
I could probably use a team of 8. That would be like a production crew. Someday, that's something I want to do. Like, I want to have the home office for readings and things like that. But someday, I would like to take the production, my video production, to the level where I would need a production crew.
Right. We were talking about this earlier today when we were in conversation, and I says, when I went professional, my game plan was to replace Sylvia Brown. And you said, your game plan was to replace another very well-known
more local psychic.
Yeah, more local psychic. And I said, and that's where we differ.
I mean, I'm learning to dream bigger.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like, I know that I've talked about this quite a bit, and I have absolutely no shame in saying that I have created the person I am. I created this character when I was somebody completely different, and it's painful sometimes to look back. And I now look back at the person I was who was creating the person I am and realize that is my origin story. I am not ashamed of it. There are things I wish that had been different, but that's how it was. No origin story is pretty.
Right. Well,
they're usually pretty fucking awful.
Well, here's the thing, though. You didn't really create it. You lived it and became it.
I did. I had this idea of, like, what would Dottie do? I mean, Dottie is my name. That's been my name. That is
who you are.
That is who I am. But Dottie the Psychic was a character that I created. It is there's this whole concept of the wizard mask. I don't remember the magician's mask, where you sort of create a personality that behaves the way you want them to, you would want to behave, and then you slowly kind of slide into that. And I did that basically with my entire existence because I wanted out of the situation. It gave me a point to move towards. Right. Rather than trying to run away from where I was, I needed to move towards something. And then, so I moved towards this. And it's not been an easy journey. And now that I've reached this point, I'm going to stabilize before I continue to move forward. Like, I want to get all of my stuff nice and neat before I move forward, because I still got to go back there. Here's the thing, like, I want to go back through, once the dust has settled a bit, which is kind of a joke here.
Once the train is down to a normal range, okay.
Once things have stabilized, and I'm not trying to actively do new projects.
Right.
I want to go back and start cleaning things up. After I want to get all the, what I want to do is I want to get my homework done. That's a thing.
That's a good thing for you.
Probably over this winter vacation. I want to get a couple of, I'll probably take some of the articles from school and definitely recycle them because I think I did pretty good work. So I want to take some of that and build a sort of a backup for Dottie the Psychic. I am getting more and more efficient at the newsletter, which, you know, you can sign up for at Dottie the Psychic, which is another thing. We've not yet addressed my website, which is a lovely website, but
well,
we got to wait for everything else to be stable before we can make it what I want it to be.
Right. We've got to let everything get itself in place before we can really do some changes there.
Right. It was literally perfect 6 months ago, and now it doesn't reflect where I am, but I've got to finish getting where I'm at before I can start doing that. Because that's going to be, that is the last big hole overall.
Right.
So.
And then in 6 months, you'll do it again.
I'm hoping that it'll be at least a year before I have enough massive change. Like maybe skin, maybe change the skin on it. Like, dress it up, do some seasonal things.
Right.
Definitely because I definitely want to keep the website alive, because that is one place people can always reach me through. It's directly connected to my email. So if you go on there and and send me an email, if you sign up for the email list, then I don't get that. That goes to the email list. But if you send a message to me, like if you email me through that, it comes to my email and I get those. And I definitely want to keep that open. You can also reach me on Keen through there, or my scheduling app, which is also something new that I need to go through. Like, because I've started, another reason to sign up for the newsletter is that I give a 5% discount. I think I do. Did I do it last month? Did it make it out?
We didn't do it last month because we ain't got you there yet. Next month we're doing that.
I think I set up the code and then didn't get it in there because I remember setting up the codes.
Okay.
I definitely set one up for Patreon. That is a huge thing. That needs attention. That is the next big overhaul. Once I've got the office settled, the next thing I'm going to overhaul is my Patreon, because right now I have one very lovely patron and another patron that has just forgot about what I do. Like somebody from back when I was working at Synergy Health.
Right.
So I've got 2 patrons at the $5 level, and they've got a lot of really cool stuff on there. So that's something I have been actively paying more attention to, but there's things I want to go back and clean up. So like the active content is great, but like the intro videos, like the welcome videos, the thank you videos. I think the thank you video is literally from 4 years ago.
Right.
It's like me dancing. I don't even own the clothes that are in that video anymore.
Right. And that's
so there's things like that.
Right. And then there's something that you done that I need to go back and do. My intro on the Aeson Night needs to be redone. My website, I need to go in and update. There's new stuff going to be popping off there very soon. So that's all going to be real fun. And then, I'm moving on to more other projects.
I should have waited. I didn't know I was going to get the office when I made the intro.
Right.
So that's going to need to be redone. I'm hoping by summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, a nice intro.
Yeah.
I want to redo all my intros, but that's a pipe dream right now. That's not feasible
yet.
Right now.
Yeah, but see, these are things that people do not think that we do. They think that the network will set our prices and do our market research and send us to trainings and build this up and build that for us. And it's like, no, it don't work that way.
You can't rely on somebody else. We are contractors through there. We cannot rely on the hotlines ever.
Right.
And I don't think, I'm hoping to build up, I want to build up my social media to the point where I don't have to rely on doing readings to do this.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I will never stop doing readings. I will be doing readings on my I will definitely read a bitch from my deathbed, just on principle. Don't get too close to me when I think I'm getting to the end, because you're going to hear all about your life.
Well, that's when it gets scary. But a reader friend of mine said, yeah, I'm going to retire in a couple years, and then I can go and focus on this, that, and another. I looked at her and said, honey, you know what a psychic's retirement plan is, right?
Death.
Yes, we go home. That's our retirement plan. We can't get
that is actually something, let's have that's a whole financial conversation that I'm not in a place to have tonight.
Okay.
Because I actually want to work on that too. That is also part of the dream. I want to get everything financially stable as well. But that requires income, and I'm not there yet.
Right. Well, you're still growing your business. You're still working. You're still hustling. And I know people don't like hustle culture. Hello, this is hustle culture.
We're entertainers. And that's something that I'm your big queer aunt. I'm your queer aunt. I put on a great show, and then when the show's over and people need to talk, that's what I'm here for.
Exactly.
Because I am trying to I am a mental health advocate because I have mental health issues. I've been saying that I'm crazy, but I realize how ableist that sounds, and people got a problem with it.
Well, I know, and there's some words I don't get anymore. Like mentally ill is not a thing in my brain.
You got the blunt end of my mental illness earlier today.
That's not mental illness, honey. That is normal. Mental illness is walking in my door with an axe going, I'm going to chop their head off, and me looking at you going, put down that damn axe or go chop me some firewood. That's mental illness.
It's not, though. Mental illness can be functional depression when you're trying to coast through life and doing everything you can just to survive, when you're being stuck in survival mode.
Right.
Not healthy.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree.
I like Shannon's comment here, and I'm going to highlight it and bring it up, and then we'll talk about it.
Definitely.
Okay. There's a difference between hustle culture and hustling to build more, get ahead, and what people call hustle culture, where you work 3 or more jobs just to make ends meet. Right now, a lot of people are doing the 3 or more jobs things because, I'm a CFO, a COO, oh, excuse me, Dottie.
Oh my freaking God, really?
Hello. Thank you for coming to our show. No, you may not freely advertise here. If you would like to become a sponsor, you can go to our Patreon and find out. Until then, drop dead, get out of my stream. I'm not going to be nice anymore.
Yeah, yo, we got I know you all are watching on many different sources, but we got this.
The spammer.
That was at least a nice spammer.
Huh?
Okay. That was at least a nicer spammer. Like, God, they are so stupid. And I think my problem with them more than anything is that they directly address people watching the live stream. Like, they're talking to them. And that irritates me. It's like, you don't know me, bitch. You don't know me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shannon.
I'm going to bring back my alert thing. So back to Shannon's comment. All right, so right now, currently, if we want to count jobs, I work 11 different networks, and then I have four other full-time jobs. Like, I've passed the 3 or more jobs easily. Like,
okay, so I definitely like the hustling. Being a small business owner means that you are constantly having to work towards sustaining yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to constantly maintain a workflow. You have to be self-motivating. And hustling nowadays is not as dirty a word as it was a few years ago, where people, especially in the psychic community, have a problem with that word because we get associated with people scamming. We get associated with, these assholes that pop into live streams and try to steal our clients,
or harass our clients, which is what
harass our clients. You get a lot. I mean, and that's the problem. Like, people think that we're fake when we try to make enough money to live.
Right, but the other part of this, and the hustle culture / boss babe movement started in the planner community, and then the goal for life people, the ones that breathe in deeply, count to 5, breathe out deeply, count to 5, do the bare minimum, has took over and got really mad at boss babe culture because it's not pretty. Like, my planner is not pretty. You guys, you have to come in Sunday and see it, because I'm going to show you what this week has looked like. It ain't pretty. It'll look pretty on Sunday, but it ain't pretty in the end. Like, it's scribbled through and marked through and all this other stuff. But, but because that somehow the prosperity preachers got involved in the planner community, i.e. buying up planner companies, and have produced this idea, and, people have attacked it in the productivity community. And you just need to do what you need to do to complete your path and what brings you joy.
That is a very, very descriptive way to talk about your handwriting.
Well, my handwriting has actually gotten better. When I was charting, they had a problem determining whether I wrote the notes, because when I charted, we charted by hand, or if the doctor wrote the notes.
I do not miss being a nurse. I really don't. I miss taking care of my patients, my residents, my clients. I really, some part of me will always kind of miss that. But honestly, I do not miss. I have difficulty spelling, for one. I've always had trouble spelling, and nurses will eat each other alive. My documentation was a fatal flaw.
Well, the way I got past that was I learned the synonym shorthand stuff, and it was just pure scientific, and it was fucking pages of documentation. And then a lot of our stuff had become checkmarked by the time that I was done. And it's just like, check, yep, check, BP this, sugar this, blah, 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 whatever. So I done really well with it. But no, our nurses will freaking attack you if you mess up their charting.
Oh yeah. Well, nurses eat their young in general. Like,
Yeah. But these old nurses,
and
the younger nurses do not know the pain of sitting at the desk at 8 o'clock in the morning, still charting. When you
yeah,
walk
trying to
9
write
o'clock the
note on
day
every single.
before.
I came right in. There was a massive shift when I first got into nursing because I got into nursing. It was 2007.
Mm-hmm.
So like 2006, 2007 is when I went to school. So in school, we were doing our charting by hand.
Mm-hmm.
We were still like we were trying to do both because
Right.
there hadn't been the full switch. And the
Right.
first job I had was, I mean, it was a super simple one. There was no reason for them to spend the money on a medical charting program because we had 6 full care clients, and we
Mm-hmm.
called them clients because we were providing a service, and that was I was working with an autistic, so I had 3 full care clients, and so their charting didn't need to be much different than everybody else's charting, so it was all paper. The medication records, everything was all
Right.
and if you screwed up, it was a pain in the ass.
Yes. Liquid correction was not your friend because you could not use liquid correction.
No, you cannot use whiteout. You can use black pen, and
Yes.
you cannot white it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's some
And you
medical trauma. Okay, that is some trauma that we don't need to visit right now.
Okay, we'll talk about that another night.
Right. I gotta go get my homework
But
done.
no, I miss my patients. There are times that I think a few of my patients stop by for a visit because I will hear Flossie Bloom, and they'll be like, "It is 3 o'clock in the morning, Flossie. It's time to go back to bed."
I had one. Her name was Evelyn Monday, and I swear to God, she talked to like people making fun of Bela Lugosi.
Mm-hmm.
She was apparently off her rocker most of her life and had only aged like her madness had aged like a fine wine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hope that is the crazy person I am if I ever have to go into their nursing home. I don't want to go in a nursing home. I hope I never have to go in a nursing home. But if I do, I'm going to be Evelyn Monday.
Mm.
And I'm going to tell them my name is Evelyn Monday because like she would sit at the end of the hall and every now and again she'd be like, she loved me because I loved her. She's like, I'll give you a pie. You want a pie? I got an apple pie. I'm like, where you got that apple pie, Evelyn? So she'd say like that. She said, every now and then she look at you and say, death is coming for me tonight. And she did it all the time because that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the things to look for. That is a sign of impending death. If somebody tells you they're going to die, you believe them. But she would tell you that all the time. And one time she started screaming, the devil's behind you. I'm like, and I had this creepy feeling before she started doing that. And like
Right.
one time I had to pull her out of the common dining room where they were having church because she was barking at the preacher. I mean, literally. You can't preach the gospel when you're drunk as a dog.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I want to become Joyce. Joyce, her whole life ran a company store and an accounting business. She had Alzheimer's. She sat down. We could still smoke in the nursing homes at this time. She sat in the common room at the table, and she done all the nurses' checkbooks. If we had to do some type of accounting work, she done that, and she would not be off a penny. She actually caught One Valley Bank charging one of our nurses like $36 every 2 weeks that her paycheck was deposited in a fee. I mean, the woman couldn't figure out what was wrong with her accounts. Brought him in, laid him down. This patient has Alzheimer's. Not a damn clue who the president is, what day it is, none of that. Would get
But
mad.
she knew her numbers.
Oh, she could do her numbers. She knew her numbers backwards and forwards. She could look at a stock market in the newspaper in the morning going, Ma Bell's going to have stew tonight. Look like Mickey Mouse is going to need to find himself a trap. And we watched it for over a year. This Alzheimer's patient would look at you and say, I'm going home. I don't know why you have me here. Would not even catch who you are, knew who you are. She knew her primary caregivers. Her husband come in. She didn't know who the hell that asshole was, but knew us. Would give us fits. Someone would make her mad. She'd be like, I'm done with this place. I'm going home, and would head out that door. And you'd have to go back in, get her back in. You've got a meeting in 5 minutes, Joyce. Now you got to come on in. But no, she would look at the stock market, and I don't know how or what power or what part of her brain was still living. But she'd look at it, and you'd be right. Ma Bell would be having stew instead of lobster that night, and Mickey Mouse would be looking for a trap to get some cheese off of, because those stocks would be down, and I'm talking way down. And this is back in the 90s when stocks rode like a roller coaster.
Right.
And
checking, we said
she knew her numbers. She knew her. She could count money. Like, she was on it. And I either want to be that or I want to be one of the nurses, because this nursing home was a nursing home that my father retired from, and then like 10 years later I went to work for. She wanted to still do a med pass.
Oh, God.
Explained to her that she was not on duty, that she was now a resident daily, because she'd report for report.
That had to be fun when you had new staff.
Oh, it was. It was quite, she almost got her hands on the keys to the narcotics cart. A couple of times when we had GSNs in.
Oh, God.
But both these ladies got up every morning, got their coffee, went to their rooms, done their own personal care. Like, we knew when they had a UTI because they wouldn't come out looking like $1 million. They knew.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Dude, UTIs, man. UTIs, people don't think about how crazy those UTIs can make somebody. But I literally we had one client, one resident, one of my favorite residents. She was usually sweet as a pea, but one day she was just completely off her rocker. She normally had her capacity. She was able to make her own decisions. She's an intelligent woman, but she got a UTI one day. And I remember her telling me, they're throwing a little girl in a wood chipper. I can see her little shoe, like full on hallucinations looking out the window. Got her on an antibiotic and she went back to who she was. It was like, it's just to build up those toxins.
I don't know what it does, but I'm telling you, drink your water. Drink your water. I don't care who you are.
I mean, honestly,
drink a glass of water.
I don't know what it is either, because I've watched people dying of renal failure, and there's some of that, but it's nothing like it. It's different.
It is.
It's totally different.
Totally.
Like So you mentioned that she tried to take off, and I've got an elopement for you that was just hilarious. I nearly lost it on a CNA because of this one. Like, this is one of those moments I'm like, well, I don't know what to do, so I can't leave this patient to go get help. But also, like, we're going to just keep walking. There was no talking this one. I'm standing there, and I was talking to the CNA. I think I was reprimanding her for something stupid. And I can't remember. I'm like, I can't quite remember. This is somebody that I'd already had problems with, because she ended up being like a disaster. The CNA ended up being a total disaster. And I'm talking to this woman. And one of our biggest elopement risks, her name was Elaine Judge, and I will remember that name to my dying day, which, by the way, yes, this is all very HIPAA, but these people, this has been way more than 7 years.
They're not living.
They're not alive. They're not.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like,
well, I know
this
I
no
put
longer.
mine I put mine on the gurney. They're not living.
I shouldn't be putting names out there. We shouldn't be putting names out there. But this, neither here nor there. Anyway, so this woman, she was never really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
She was never really sweet, but you could work with her most days.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and again, she would go homicidal.
Right.
And one night, she called this lawyer like 30 times. He told us to stop calling. I'm like, I can't stop her from using the phone. This is keeping her from attacking our clients. Shut up and take it. Like, I don't care that you got called 5 times in the middle of the night. I'm sorry, I don't.
Right.
You know, it was one of those. And she'd look at you, and you could tell that she was having some sort of episode because one eye would dilate and the other one would go pinpoint. Like, you know, when you see like concussion, yeah. So one eye would be like if you look in the eye, you can see that the color part, one eye would have no color part, and the other side would be all color except for a pinpoint. And this is a sign of a head injury or a stroke. It's something that we look for.
Right.
If you bonk your head and they do the light, they're trying to see if your pupils are equal and equal and reactive.
Right.
Because we're not.
Right.
And that's when she was going off the hizzy. It was 5 o'clock in the morning because I had to start my med pass. I was supposed to start my med pass at 5 o'clock. This happened right before I was supposed to start my med pass, my morning med pass. And I'm sitting here talking to the CNA, and all I see is like a foot go through the door. Her elopement, I can't remember what we called them, but basically didn't go off. The door didn't lock. It malfunctioned and she was gone. All I saw was like a little bit of her walker and her shoe going out the door.
Mm-hmm.
I scream for this woman. I scream her name, and I run for her. I'm like, the CNA didn't follow. This one was already out the door, so I'm like, hey, Elaine, why don't you come back in? Come back in. And she's like, she's not doing it. She is not coming back. She is going to the bank. I'm like, Elaine, it is 5 o'clock in the morning. The bank is not open. It's foggy. We have to cross this. There is a bank. There's an actual bank in this line. There's like we called it there was like a strip mall that used to be like an outlet store. And then there was like something else, and then there was the bank. And she was bound and determined. We walked all the way to that bank. I'm like, see, Elaine, I told you they're not open yet. It's still dark. It's still dark and foggy. And we were literally halfway back when my RN swings into the parking lot of the strip mall and is like, where have you been? I'm like, where the hell do you think? I've been here with Elaine. I've been waiting for backup. I don't know what to tell you. She's like, it's 5:30. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. She's like, she kicks the CNA out of the car, out of her truck, and says, walk with her back to the nursing home. And takes me in the truck and goes and takes me to start my med pass. The only reason that she had come and gotten me was because she noticed I wasn't doing my med pass at 5:30. I'm like, you waited till 5:30 to notice that I wasn't doing my med pass? Screw you all. Screw you all.
Yep. I've had those experiences where I've had the exact opposite. I've walked in the door after working 16 hours, and the phone on my desk is ringing. Hello, Aeson. I know you just got home. I know we can't demand you back, but is there any way you can come and get Joyce? Calm down. She wants to go to the office. I'll be there in a minute. Someone find me a checkbook. Here, hon, here's the books for today. You need to balance these checkbooks.
And they couldn't just do that.
She didn't know them. She didn't like them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So it's one of my other favorite elopement ones. I was still a new nurse. I had a job as a nurse before this, but it was it was the easiest nursing job I'd ever had. So it really didn't count as a full-blown nursing job. So this is like maybe 3 months. No, I don't even think it was that. I think it was like the first month that I had worked at this nursing home that I ended up spending like 5 years at. And one of the CNAs comes over and says, "Have you seen Dixie?" I'm like, I don't know what Dixie looks like. I've only been trained on a certain hall. I've only been trained on 2 halls, and this person's from the other hall. I'm like, so we are just looking everywhere. We have now gone from looking inside. We have done the 5-minute search inside the building. We're now doing the 10-minute search outside of the building. The CNAs have got walkie-talkies. We are busting out of there. Like, we are searching for this woman. She is now, we are officially full into this elopement drill. And the head nurse, the head RN, was going and rechecking each room. We'd already checked each room. She was rechecking each room, and she knew the clients, and she said that she saw this woman that didn't look like the patient who was supposed to be in that bed.
Right.
She says, "Honey, what's your name?" And then she says, "Dixie." The woman had been in the wrong bed the whole time. We've been freaking out now for like 45 minutes looking for this woman. Like, we were like, what is the next step? Because we have officially...
Well, the next step is you call the sheriff's department, who then in turn has to not only call the family and the administrator, but also call the ombudsman to report it, and then the deputies have to issue a silver warning.
Yeah, we were just about to that point when the RN just happened to notice that doesn't look like the person who's supposed to be in that bed.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that Brenda likes these stories. We share some of them a little more often, especially when we're around this time of the year. But
it's been a long
week. I'm in the, we are going to do some massive things for 2023. I'm in a launch sequence. You're in a launch sequence. A lot of things are happening all at once, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm about 2/3 through launching myself out a window.
You are not allowed to launch out a window until you perfect the flying oil that I prescribed.
Okay, well, that's next week.
Okay. But we're back. This station does a lot. We're able to do a lot. I think it was the last 2 weeks we ran programming every night for you guys. You guys are going to get to watch and see us grow. But what helps us do that is our Patreons. Now, Dottie, what's your Patreon's name?
You can find everything Dottie the Psychic, DOTTIE the Psychic, on my website. Y'all are getting tired, but it is Patreon /Dottie the Psychic, DOTTIE the Psychic.
Yep. and you can get all.
I have started saying that shit in my sleep. I realized the other day I'd reached a point when somebody had asked me that they asked me my name, just like I was at my office job. I have a secondary office job to help pay for things like food, and rent. And somebody asked me my name, and I did that. Like, I'm Dottie the Psychic, Dottie the Psychic. I'm like, shit. I did it in my.
Yeah, but I want to give special thanks to Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Dottie the Psychic, Tracy Vaughn, Donna Warwick, Kathleen Bell, Caitlin Bell, and the Laughing Tree Grove. If you would like to become a barista and get a lot of exclusive content, which baristas, you got a hot take coming later, be sure to go check out PCSPnetwork.com. They support all the podcasts here at PCSP Network and all the special videos and stuff you guys see. They make a lot of that possible. They also help us run the station and manipulate the station. Yes, Dottie.
I got one more thing to say.
Uh-huh.
So if you are somebody who gets my newsletter, which I would definitely suggest signing up for my newsletter, then you know about my Patreon projects, where I try to do something special for my Patreons every month. Last year it was going to be a competition, but I only had one patron, so they won by default. But this month, the Patreon project is I'm putting out a bunch of bloopers. I've got the Tessiomancy bloopers. I've got the scammer bloopers, and they're staggered, so I don't think they're all out just yet. But the scammer bloopers, the Tessiomancy bloopers. I've got bloopers from a old prediction video I had done, and I've got bloopers from the intro video, the new intro video, which are fun. They were a lot of fun because I was almost intentionally making bloopers. I was just like talking shit at the camera at one point. The scammer ones were a lot of fun to rewatch. I rewatched the bloopers from the scammers video. I'm like, good Lord. I was just having I was trying to, especially at the beginning, because a lot of my bloopers usually come from the first few scenes, because after that I'm kind of like awake and moving forward, and I can like actually like, so if I have to like break or do it over a couple of days, it takes a minute to kind of talk myself into doing them. And so a lot of those bloopers are just me just making the most random noises and just saying some crazy shit.
Cool. Very, very cool. Those are fun. I've thought about that, but the problem is I normally delete if I mess up.
Right.
And here lately I've gotten into doing the lives and just loving that so much.
Right.
And there's bloopers there always. But with that, guys, let's see you for tomorrow night for Mountain Bears. God, this
and then Monday night for Shameless Self-Promotion with Gwen.
Yes, Lady Gwen will be there. And then just added today, the launch party for the secret project will be at, I believe it's 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. You'll have to look on the event page. Be sure to tune in for that. The psychics doing that launch party, some of them will be joining in to talk about what it is. And I think you guys are really going to like this, especially if you've been wanting to learn and educate. All right. So with that, good night, y'all.
Safe travel and much profit to you.